Hey nerds, join us on Discord and hit that subscribe button.
Hi, I'm Flynn.
Zika.
Thessaly.
Oma.
Ceallach.
And I'm your DM, Seth. Welcome to Venture Forth. When last we left our heroes.
Okay.
After the betrayal of the Kengshi Drow within General Iregloom's retinue, you all made short work of the house mage in charge and all but one of the remaining Drow here near the center of Addersfeld. But unfortunately, you were not able to stop them before they were able to open an unusual rift into this world, a scar upon the face of Elbor with an air of profound wrongness.
Shucks.
And through this rift, called to Elbor by the violence, hatred, and rampant heightened emotion here within the city of Addersfeld under siege, a group of demons came crashing into the city square you all found yourselves in. But thanks to some impressive battlefield tactics, you all emerged victorious and set about dealing with the fallout from the battle, namely the closing of the portal and, of course, protecting Flynn from the consequences of denying his patron's very specific instructions to kill Iregloom during the fray. Oma began the process of closing this rift between worlds by using the raw power of her magic, while Flynn called upon his teaching in Ironlight Castle and arrived at the conclusion that an end to the violence would likely go a long way toward aiding the AOR in closing the rift. This conclusion, of course, led Flynn and the rest of the AOR to discuss Iregloom, her role in the war, responsibility, and the future. Faced with the immediate threat of the demons, some well-thought-out arguments, helmed by Ceallach and the rest of the AOR, and staring at a dwindling strategic advantage here in Addersfeld, Iregloom sounded the retreat. But not before giving Ceallach a letter written in her hand, addressed to King Dornan Nightcrest III of Caldor, a token of her sincerity, perhaps, to be given to Queen Isolde should the AOR come across her again. And as the clashes all across the city ended, and soldiers in pitted combat withdrew, Seeker and Thessaly together used their healing magic to seal the rift, preventing further incursions from the demonic forces. But with that problem dealt with, and Iregloom's forces on the retreat, the next issue, of course, arose, dealing with the fallout from Flynn's denial of his patron. Ceallach and Flynn did what they could, but realizing they may need more strength than either have to bear on their own right now, together they rushed towards the Temple District in search of aid. Olma, ahead of the rest of the party, also had made her way to the Temple District, while Thessaly and Seeker began to make their way toward Ironlight Castle as Adderfeld begins the long and arduous process of recovering from the recent siege. So, we come back to this moment. Flynn and Ceallach, we are going to start with you guys. You are making your way through the streets of Addersfeld. Just as a reminder, things are very chaotic right now. You see kind of like soldiers are withdrawing. There are various soldiers. You can hear shouts and cheers being arisen in different parts of the city as the retreat is being sounded. Fires and bucket duty crews are very quickly being assembled to try to put out fires that were left over from the wyverns. It is a chaotic kind of mess as you guys very quickly wend your way through the streets on your way to Famir's temple. So, the scene is pretty chaotic as you guys kind of make your way through these streets. You see all of that going on, but the two of you, not very far away. It's probably about a 10-minute walk or so from the city center where everything just happened to Dawnpillar Temple. So.
As we're traveling, I'm going to reach out and find Thessaly's tether and cast sending.
Okay.
Ajungis.
Yes.
Hi. I'm taking Flynn to the Temple of Famir. He's in a bad way. I could use your support, if that's all right.
What is going on?
Love you.
Well,
Did you?
no, hold on. Hi. Sorry to hear that, but makes sense. I'll be along shortly. Bring Seeker. Love you. Love you.
I love it.
Oh, Ceallach.
Yes. So I didn't want to. I'm not quite sure how that magic works when I receive it, and then if I just start talking. So if we had just started having a conversation, would he hear that back?
Probably.
Right. So I didn't want to waste that, and then
Smart. What did he say?
we should probably go to the Temple of Famir.
Mm-hmm.
He asked for me. I don't know if he wants you to come also.
I
but
can wait
feel
outside.
Like
It's okay.
well, I don't think you have to wait. Oh,
If they don't, just go.
I mean, we both, talk to. Let's just go. It's fine. We'll meet them there.
Okay.
We go.
You guys, your destination was the farthest away from the city center itself, because you guys, Ironlight Castle is like the northwest corner of the city, kind of. So you guys, at this point, are actually closer to the Temple District probably even than they are, because I think, well, no, you guys left first. So you are, I'll say you're a few minutes away from
So,
the Temple District.
Given like what happened right after the battle.
Yeah.
Here, Des, hold on. And I'm gonna grab some sand from my pouch and and toss it on our feet and cast Long Strider.
On both of you?
Yes.
Dang.
Okay. So we can
Cool,
get there
cool.
quickly.
Okay, awesome. All right,
Moving at halfling
that'll
speed.
shave off a couple,
Pick 'em
minutes.
up.
My whittle
We'll run
way.
by.
Whittle, 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 whittle.
My widow way.
My
That's
glowing
okay,
forehead.
you know? That's okay. He's got short legs, but a powerful stride.
That's right. That's right. That's our boy.
So you successfully cast Sending. The two of you make your way back. After a few minutes, unless there's anything specific you guys wanted to kind of say or talk about on the journey, you guys just very quickly, after about 10 minutes, you, Ceallach, find yourself staring at Dawn Pillar Temple.
Is this the place?
Smaller than I remember it. Yeah. Let's get you inside.
Did you hear that?
There's a number of things I hear, Flynn, but I suspect no.
Okay, never mind.
What are you
Let's go.
hearing? The
Huh?
voice is...
No. What?
Alright. Lad,
What? Is my forehead still glowing?
it's gonna be okay.
Okay.
Deep breaths. Alright?
Yeah. Yep.
I sometimes I do it on a count.
What do you?
Four, so breathe
to
in, count to 4,
What,
hold it for a beat.
And count to 4.
Yes. So hold it. And now out on 6. Alright.
Yeah.
I've got you.
All right, let's do this.
Alright. I needed that too. And then I will brush my way into the temple door.
All right. I love that there's just the moment of the two of you as kind of this, like, there are people coming in and out of here, more people coming in than going out.
Yeah.
This is a place, it is one of the largest temples, if not, I believe the largest actually, here in Addersfeld. And there are a number of people who have come here seeking aid, refuge, any number of things, and more appearing to arrive by the minute. But you ascend the steps and cross the threshold of Dawn Pillar Temple, and you see before you the familiar scene of this space set out, more chaotic and much more going on than you're accustomed to in the years since you have been here. And as you kind of look around, you see obviously tons of different people. You see that most of the acolytes, all of the various Kaji and normal acolytes that of the temple are all basically on the floor. And Ceallach, with your keen perception, as you look out across the crowd, you see a smattering of familiar faces and people that you recognize dimly that have probably changed or somewhat different. But two figures immediately stick out to you. The first is Ca'um Malcolm. You see sort of the kind of long face, the tall, lanky build, close cropped brown hair. His normal, like, very just plain looking face right now is kind of like just set in his best kind of look of his best bedside manner and stoicism. You know that when he does smile, it makes him kind of light up. He's one of those people. But he's right now, it's very dour, and he looks pretty tired. The other figure that stands out to you is you see a woman with deep gray skin, the color of a summer evening sky. You see spotless robes and the deep eyes, color of green, same as yours. Her hair has the sort of simple golden circlet that you remember her wearing. As you see your mother here inside of Dawn Pillar Temple.
Excuse me.
Say again?
All right. Okay.
You good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you need to do that count thing.
Yeah, what was it again?
I think it's 4 in and then 6 out.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Let's go.
All right.
And I will approach Ka'aze East.
Okay.
Is she like among people or what?
She is. She's currently occupied right now with a smattering of people, kind of a small group, a mix of sort of normal civilians that are right now have like a soldier that is not in any particularly terrible way, but has taken a pretty serious wound that without treatment will not probably go well. But you see as she sort of bends down and reaches out her hand and casts the familiar spell of Spare the Dying, just as a way of preventing anything from happening right now. You gather with a number of wounded in here that the clerics are doing the best they can to preserve what energy they have. But as you begin to make your way through the crowd, she stands up and reaches down and kind of spares some words for the group of people that she's with. And you get about 20 feet away as she's kind of sweeping the crowd and locks eyes with you.
And I will say nothing until I get within 5 feet of her. My Fulgur, I have an urgent request. My companion here, there's no two ways about it. He's made a pact, I believe with an archfey. If it's still here, I think it'd be best if we could use the artifact.
Ceallach. And there's a moment of surprise that is very quickly covered over with the sort of brisk professionalism as she looks to you and looks to Flynn.
Hi, I'm Flynn.
Hello. I'm Ka'aze. The artifact?
Her infinite embrace. My Fulgur. I assure you, it's necessary. I would not bring this to you if it wasn't.
Are you still...
And I sort of like hide my arm, my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. She's a very perceptive woman. She sees it. And her face gets a little hard. Her infinite embrace is a treasured artifact of this temple, only meant to be used in the most dire of circumstances, and requires much from those of us who are clergy to work and activate the device. I wonder what makes this situation deserving of such a boon.
We saved the bloody city. I'm not a fool, I know what it takes. I want to save my friend. "35 years. 35 years. I've walked Elbor. without ever asking a kernel of your love. And now, I bring to you a hero in need of your aid. It's deserving.
Very well. Come with me. And she turns, and walks very swiftly over to Malcolm, and grabs him by the arm and leans in. He, like, as she pulls him and turns, he looks, and his eyes kind of go wide at seeing you, but he, like, goes to sort of start speaking, and then she leans in and begins to speak softly to him. You catch a few words. The gist of what you've asked for is communicated. And he looks to you. Ceallach, it has been some time since we've seen you here.
By no accident, my Fulgur. And I give him a slightly acidic look.
He receives it, and his lips kind of go tight. And he gives kind of a brisk nod. And you are asking for the temple's aid in this.
It's the only place I know. I've seen the contract that binds this halfling, and I see no way out therein. But I know the temple has resources.
Resources that are particularly strained at this moment.
Again, pardon me. We have money. I can make a donation. That'll help. I'll look around to the crowd of wounded, and just supplies, bandages, anything.
In recognition of, and then your Ka'aza Iced steps in. Services granted to the temple and to the city of Addersfeld. And then she looks to Ka'um Malcolm. Perhaps it would be for the best. Well, will you be the third? Are you, forgive me, capable?
Oh.
Yes!
He looks pointedly at the bandage.
I assure you, there is no more devout follower of Famir in this goddamn temple than I. I am capable.
Very well. They turn and kind of reach their arms out and point the two of you forward and lead you deeper into the temple. I will say that about this time during this conversation, the two of you arrive.
A quick note.
Yeah.
Before, on the way, loudly as I can while I'm running. Olma, I'm rubbing my I'm rubbing my ear. So I got 120 feet. I don't know if we're passing near, but
We're all on the temple.
Famous temple now, and just like every three or four steps, I'm yelling that out.
Spam
so
hopefully
she can hear it.
Okay.
And hopefully I come within range.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would say that, the temple district is all of the temples are relatively in the same geographic area.
Circle,
It's kind of a pavilion almost of all
Right.
of the temples.
Right.
As you are kind of running down, it's only been a few minutes, and after everything that you kind of were able to do in the Temple of Laris, you actually do pick up at some point, when you guys get close and you're basically at the temple, kind of out in the square that sits in the center of all of them. you hear Seeker's voice and are able to respond.
I lift my head up. I'm still wearing my hood.
Where's Famir's temple?
And I'm like, I get up and I start to walk
Yeah.
outside, outside of the temple and see if I can see them anywhere.
Yeah, looking around, like it takes you a second, but because just lots of people, but eventually you do very clearly see Seeker and Thessaly.
When I see them, I walk up to them,
Okay,
still invisible.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
that tracks.
Until I'm close enough, and then I go, and then I just like poke Seeker in the ribs. I go, boo!
Oh.
Oh.
I'm a ghost. Woo!
Right,
Now,
right.
Seeker, you're being haunted. Oh no.
Right now, Flynn. I think Flynn needs us.
Oh.
Right, sorry.
Oh, I put my head down. Is he okay?
Don't know.
I don't think
so. Saw some of the contract. Did not look good.
No.
You
There-
saw some of the contract? That what?
We-
It's
That
fine.
sucks.
We should go into the temple. I think that they've probably beaten us here.
Oh, okay. Which one's Famir's?
This one.
I think it was a word.
It's pretty clear. Like once you see one of the temples.
on the decor.
Yeah, no, it is like beautiful and resplendent and
Is it
glass
sparkly?
and crystal. It's very sparkly, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of glass, a lot of big, broad, open windows, and everything is like basically gilded in like silver and very highly polished metal. Everything is pretty pristine and clean.
They certainly
Um,
spare no expense.
Yeah,
No.
it's beautiful.
No, they don't.
It really is.
When we hit the threshold,
Mhm.
Ceallach, we're here.
We're going. Ask at the front. They'll tell them you're with. Tell me with Kaji Gray.
Kaji Gray.
Yes.
You just trying to find somebody who can,
Yeah. Just looking around
somebody
for
who
like
looks like they might know
a
something.
priest, someone with some kind of authority.
I mean, yeah, as you guys are looking, there's mostly like acolytes and things like that dressed in robes. But as you're like go to ask, you actually can see at this point, basically when you guys arrive on the threshold is kind of the point at which you see Ceallach and Flynn sort of back kind of in the center of the temple, the large open space that's in the center. You see them being led by two figures in basically like beautiful white robes. One sort of average looking male, short crop brown hair, the other full drow woman. Dressed in beautiful like white pristine robes with sort of like gold chains and things like that around the that are almost like clipped to the robes to keep them tight to her form, as well as like a very sort of simple gold like what would be the word, like circlet that is, yeah, thank you. I was like, not a crown. And then of course emblazoned on the forehead actually is the tri-ring tattoo of the dedicants of Famir. So you see that both the gentleman that and this drow woman that they are both with both bear that tattoo on their foreheads. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
Just
But you see them as they begin to like get kind of ushered deeper into the temple through a set of double doors that sit kind of like at the very back of this larger open kind of communal area.
Oh, we don't have to ask anybody. They're right there.
Okay, let's
Let's go.
hustle.
Let's go.
You guys kind of weave through the crowd as the two of you pretty quickly you guys all catch up. You just kind of weave through as you begin to walk deeper into the temple, heading into outside of the more public areas of the temple and deeper into the chambers where typically only acolytes and others are allowed to go.
I grip Ceallach's cloak as soon as we get close enough.
Oh my.
Okay.
Hi.
Immediate eyes on Flynn. How is he looking?
Fine.
Wiry. Like I'm like looking around, like almost like spacing out, like quick turn and like
Flynn.
huh? What? Hey,
Hi.
hi guys.
Hi. We got here to help. I got your message.
Grand. Thanks.
So how do we help?
Well, That remains to be seen.
Oh.
But I have a plan, and it's gonna get pretty dicey, so I didn't want to do it without you.
Dicey? Didn't we just come from Dicey? Isn't this a temple? Shouldn't things be like healing-y? Right?
I'm going to attribute that to the abandonment of your studies, but,
Oh,
but
right.
healing is almost always dicey.
I'm gonna say the abandonment of my studies when... Fine, we'll debate that later. How do we proceed?
Follow my lead.
All right.
I'm sorry for... This is gonna be intense.
I think most of our days are intense. You don't really have to apologize for that.
Well, sure.
It'd be really nice.
This might be a bit different than...
It might be nice to not have an intense day.
Oh, wouldn't it,
Well-
Ulma?
Ooh.
I look forward to that.
How did the other priests react to, like, when he says it's gonna be dicey? It's a little intense.
Not particular. Like, they're kind of like looking to him, and just look concerned, I guess would be the good route, or the most apt description. But both of them, there is and when you guys walk into this, there is a tension to this little circle of people that is palpable.
When my eyes fall over the drow, is there any likeness? Like, would I pick up on?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
just in the intensity of the expression.
expression. That's actually yes. Oh my god.
It's all in the
Countenance,
expression.
yeah.
So this woman
How old does she appear?
appear probably in her 40s or 50s.
Yeah,
like
she doesn't.
same
She
age
doesn't
as
really look older
Ceallach?
than
Yeah,
me.
she looks about the same age as
Yeah.
Ceallach,
Oh.
but she's a full drow. So it's like she could be
Right.
who knows,
tell.
right? Like
Yeah.
who knows? But there is a severity to her expression, and as you kind of look at the two of them walking sort of side by side, the severity of that expression is mirrored in Ceallach's features, and the eyes are a dead match. Yeah.
Can we identify the full drow versus half drow? Like, can we see any, like, is that really visible, or does Ceallach look pretty full? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what he looked like when he was in full drow form.
Right. There
She's
are
different,
She's
yeah.
shorter.
yeah,
You know,
shorter,
the height
lighter,
difference. Yeah.
longer, like the ears are longer.
Okay.
Her skin is a deeper shade of gray.
Yeah.
Her eyes are likely, actually, well, her eyes are the same shade as
Yeah.
Ceallach's. They're almost identical. But yeah, it's sort of the figure, and then of course the ears, and sort of she just has softer features, a little bit more than Ceallach does. But yeah, definitively able to recognize full drow. The ears are a dead giveaway. But there is a tension to the atmosphere, and they kind of see you all appear, and then once you guys all start talking, just kind of look questioning over all of you, get a quick just like assessment, and then
These are the agents of repair.
You're welcome.
They're gonna come in handy.
for what?
Oh, we just saved your whole city. And the queen sent us on a mission here, so like, you're welcome that you're alive.
We did. I'll roll up my sleeve and my tattoo. Have my tattoo showing.
They nod at you.
And like, thank you for letting us use your temple.
It's appreciated.
Yes.
Thank you.
But there's no reason to be like stressed because like the army's leaving, so.
And one of them looks back to Malcolm, looks back to the area behind him, and he says, I think there's plenty of reasons to still be stressed. This is far from over, Joe.
Oh, I can help with that too later, but we should probably take care of this now because I don't think that our friend is super stable. I'm going to be fully honest.
Huh?
Very well. And
It's okay, Flynn.
he's gonna be okay. And I'll go over and I'll just like pat his shoulder and like eat my arm. Because we're pretty good at height. Like our height difference is pretty good. Like I can just kind of like rest my arm on his shoulder.
Okay. All right. All right. And you guys pass at as kind of that last look as he looks back and says, "There's more than one reason to be still concerned." The doors into this public area close behind you. And you suddenly find yourselves in a much quieter space as like the doors behind you kind of seal off the public facing side of the temple, and now the familiar hallways that exist here inside of the temple. You are led down a series of them and deeper and deeper into the temple. Remind me, Ceallach, where this would typically, would it be in the
probably the consular chamber?
In the consular chamber?
Yeah, unless it was like
probably like
put away,
like an off room, like a room off the consular chamber that is probably guarded most of the time.
Within,
Okay, that was also my inkling.
Yeah.
So you go down a series of familiar hallways, and after a few minutes of walking, one of the things that you notice is somehow going here, there are no like torches, no flames. It's only like natural light and a very intricate series of mirrors and polished surfaces that somehow pull the natural light in from. Actually, you can't even really tell where it's coming from. It's just somehow it suffuses this space, and it is gentle and like warm as you walk into this space, and you can see the sort of warm light of the dawn is just sort of effervescent and present throughout every doorway that you go through, which lends the space a kind of like a brightness that is also like complemented but also offset by the stillness of this space. It is perhaps
solemnity.
Yeah, solemnity is a great word to describe it. It is at once like contemplative and warm, but after, and the only kind of real sounds are the sounds of your guys's booted and slippered feet hitting the sort of marble floorways that come throughout. But eventually, you are led into. I
said
can't hear secrets.
Can't hear secrets.
I said not mine, yours. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
The Kazized. Occasionally, their eyes flit over towards you, but very quickly kind of find the rest of the group as well.
I actively don't make eye contact.
And nothing is said.
I'm just looking straight ahead.
You all eventually arrive at two very large doorways. These two doors depict basically a beautiful kind of mural of the sun, moon, and stars, kind of a constellatory and sort of fanciful depiction of the various celestial bodies, and the doors almost appear to be made themselves from like solid silver with gold inlays and things like that are here. There are two what appear to be acolytes of Famir here. You would recognize these as two members of the Legion Aurora, who are while they have the same sort of bearing, there is also a more militant posture about them. There are two that are standing here, and as the group of you walk up, these two sort of stand a little bit more at attention. They're already pretty dialed in, but there's like a slight stand up until you all arrive, and they look very carefully over at the two priests that you are with, and a series of just like they kind of look to all of you and exchange looks with Ka'az and Ka'om Malcolm, and they all nod as if to placate them, like it's fine. And these two soldiers these two clerics reach over, and they grab these the two handles and pull open these two large doors that swing out utterly silently. And before you see what can only be described as a beautiful chamber. You see like perfectly worked stone that spreads out in a large sort of circular arrangement, and you see that the ceiling above is a large dome of like almost cast. There's no panes. It's just a single massive dome of glass, and you see that all of the sort of light is being pulled in from that singular glass dome and again kind of suffuses the whole chamber, and it is all bathed in like the warm light of the rising sun that is just now cresting over Addersfeld. You see that currently this chamber itself is appears unoccupied. There's no one in here at the moment, and you are led kind of across this chamber to a familiar off chamber, that you spent quite a bit of time in.
Yeah.
There are the few people that are within this space are an additional 2 members, very similar clothing, who stand guard at what looks like a relatively nondescript door in this space, and they walk up. The same thing. Kind of a once-over is given. The 2 clerics very quickly kind of examine everybody, and Ka'aza Iced leans in, and she says, "We have need of her infinite embrace." And the soldiers nod and step aside, open the doors once again. And you see here as you walk in, as the doors open, the only thing that I can liken it to is the experience that you all had at the Bright Wall, in that as those doors open, there is a palpable, like, sense of some external force that kind of like washes over you all. That is, again, both warm and solemn. And you see sort of by itself, sitting in the middle of a small room, a device. Would you care to describe what it looks like, or would you like me to?
I'll start and you can finish, I guess. Okay. You all see in this chamber what is most easily described as a giant version of the 3-ring symbol that I wear. Golden rings the size of wagon wheels that are floating parallel to the ground, bound with beautiful, elaborate, decorative golden chain that strings them together, and they hover perfectly in the center of the room, gleaming with a bright light. And above them, you sort of see a very, very, very faintly visible, translucent glimmer. It's an almost imperceptible line in the air above this, and it's almost impossible to tell what it is, but you do see that like there's just like a slight aberration in the air molecules above this massive ornament.
Yeah, it's almost about 10 feet by 10 feet is like the space that it takes up. These 2 doors that you are going, while they are nondescript, are quite wide and kind of like go out a significant way. And they float there without any support. There's nothing holding them up or down. They just float, and they're kind of like just gently spinning in place, like very, very slowly rotating. Kaz Iced and Ka'om Malcolm enter into the chamber and like basically like extend their hands, and without touching it, just kind of like push forward, and the device itself slowly floats out of the room and in towards the center of the constellatory chamber. And again, as it kind of gets closer, you can kind of feel that same like force of magic that is here.
Do I feel any? Does it feel good, bad? I know you said warm and solemn, but like especially with me,
right?
What's going on? Do I get any type of different feeling that maybe is uneasy, similar to maybe what? I don't know if this because it's not a god technically, but like how Thessaly's adverse effects to Zachriel's magic.
Yeah.
Do I get any type of waves of that? I don't know. I mean, I've never had that happen before with, I think, Kelly killing me, but I don't know.
I think if anything, it would feel like some amount of relief, like depending on how able Flynn is.
That's
to,
what I'm thinking.
Like, feel relief at this moment.
Yeah, okay.
It's not You don't feel any adverse
Okay.
reaction. Like nothing that is, conflicting or anything like that
Okay.
within you. In fact, like the quiet
Yeah, honestly,
is
yeah.
maybe the fact that after everything that just happened, like the whole walkover, this whole time, now, like there is an absence of anything that is.
Yeah, I think on my way over here, I was kind of skittish and kind of hard to focus. And then as we kind of get deeper and deeper into this catacombs, I guess, or down these hallways into these rooms, and the silence kind of takes over. And especially when we get close to this warmth, I am easing the skittishness up,
Relaxing
more
a little
relaxed,
bit.
and still worried, but not as frantic.
Yeah.
I think.
There is a no negative reaction, nothing like that.
Okay, like we're safe here, right?
Yes. But Flynn, I'm gonna ask something of you.
Yeah,
That's why I brought everyone here.
Okay. What?
Because you're gonna need to rely on them. Alright? All these people here care about you.
Yeah.
I've been thinking as we were coming here on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no magic I know that severs pacts. So to my mind, there's a few ways that we can end this pact of yours. One would be maybe to fulfill it somehow. You perform your duties, etc., etc. Somehow the Archfey decides that they're done with you. It seems unlikely to me that that will ever be the case, and I imagine that evil that you would enact in that process would be basically irredeemable. So that rules that one out. The other would be to try to kill the Archfey, which I don't think is within our means. These are godlike beings.
Great.
This is one of the greatest angels to ever exist that we're dealing with, if my hunch is correct.
I hope it's not.
I do too, but no, I studied pretty hard. Third option. We make a new deal.
Can you do that?
I don't know. But if we make a new contract, something else. Something that isn't just unwavering loyalty, service, in perpetuity. We're in the midst of some divine fuckery, and we aren't necessarily, and I lean in closer, allied with any side of it.
Yeah.
We're here to stop the outcast. Maybe there's something we can do that isn't evil, that will appease this being and free you. But you're gonna have to face it. I'll be right here with you.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I'll turn to the rest of the group. Are you all amenable to that?
I'm going to do whatever we need to do to help Flynn.
Always.
Thought you might say that. Alma?
Are we all going with Flynn to talk to him?
Oh,
Or
no.
just Flynn?
We're gonna bring it here.
What?
And I turn back to
What? Oh boy, yeah. Ooh,
Okay.
This is not what I was prepared for today.
Everything's
fine. Everything's fine. Okay.
okay. I'm okay. Are you okay?
So 24 hours hasn't passed yet, right? We're just
No longer.
We're
no
just
short
we're
rest.
minutes. We're like an hour away.
Yeah,
from
you
that.
A short rest.
Malcolm. I think it's probably time that we get a little bit of clarity on exactly what it is that you're proposing.
Yes, my apologies, my Fulgur. It is just an urgent matter.
That much has been made clear, but what exactly is this entity you seem to have made an agreement with? What is your suspicion?
I believe Zarel, my Fulgur.
Ooh, man. The faces of both of them, grow very hard. The Twilight Warden.
The same.
You intend to bring Famir's fallen angel here.
The Dawnhammer's sworn enemy.
Oh, showdown.
That's why I need her infinite embrace.
And you propose to do this here, in the constellatory chamber.
I do.
Oh, man.
Are you not capable?
Whoa.
It is not a question of capability, but a question of propriety.
Right.
This would be nearly sacrilege. We would defile this temple. You ask this of us?
Yes, Alma?
You know they have the things on their heads, right? Isn't that, like, bad? The only person I saw with it was bad.
I just pat Alma on the head. I got this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't believe you are aware to whom you speak. My name is Ceallach East, and I am an agent of repair. A member of this group. And we have done nothing but save this God's damned world. For the past however many days. And besides that, and I turn to Ka'azes, I'm your son. I ask this of you. I ask nothing else. Me whole life I ask nothing else. And I'll expect no more after. But you and Famir and whoever else I must berate or approach or beguile or convince or persuade or compel will assist me in saving my friend.
Very well. Jesus. Very well. And Malcolm looks to your mother, who nods. It is within our capability to do so, and it will be done. And they turn towards the center of the room, and they wave to you, Flynn. And before you, as Kyle Malcolm moves, Zeist lingers for just a moment and just looks at you. And I owe you as much.
You don't know the slightest of what you owe me. And I'll approach one of the rings.
She takes the reproach and walks over and takes up her spot adjacent to you, opposite, as Flynn. They direct you to sit basically just outside of the right adjacent to where the three of them are as they together move this device to the center of the room.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'll walk. Do I have to walk towards it?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll walk up to it. And if I pass Ceallach, I'll just kind of stop and, hey, if it doesn't work, and I don't make it, I just want to say I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you.
Flynn, you're gonna make it.
It's fucking archfey, man.
We're the fucking agents of repair.
Yeah.
It was you who told me. We're gonna save the goddamn world.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Can I step forward real quick? I'm just gonna put one hand over your shoulder, and then if I can, maybe just try to direct the channel of my aura of courage a little more to Flynn to help him, to maybe help steady his heartbeat and his breathing. Hey, Flynn.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're already a hero. You got this.
Yeah.
What side of him are you on?
The right side.
And I'll step up to his left. Look down. On your left. And I'd love to... Oh, go ahead. Look at the... Ceallach. Let me know when we're going to begin.
I think you'll know.
I've been looking back and forth between Ceallach and his mom, but then I noticed that we're all supporting Flynn right now, and so I try to catch his eye. And when I catch his eye, I just lift 2 thumbs up and shake my head with a smile.
All right.
With that response, I'm just gonna I'm gonna take my hand to my necklace, to my holy symbol. Close my eyes. Silent. Dallas. Loris. Be here with your friend Femir. Protect us, and I will cast my Twilight Sanctuary. Kind of trying to bring some calm and peace, but also to protect against charming and fear.
Okay.
For the next minute, and then I'll put my hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And I'll begin to walk forward and go towards the seating area. And as I do, I'll kind of raise my hand and wipe up any remaining silver dust.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right.
I will grab hold of my ring.
Your mother next to you grabs hers, and Malcolm grabs his, and you all together push, and you guys see as the 3 of the priests, the rings come up, and as one by one, starting with Ceallach,
Ostendi nobis.
Ostendi nobis, Ostendi nobis, and you see as poof, poof, poof. How does it look, bud? Tell me.
Well, so they're within this 3-ring apparatus. There is a floating prism. As the light from our light spells, mine coming from the gold embedded in my hand. As these light spells come through, you are able to see that the ring, once made perpendicular, has a faint lens to it, a glass-like substance that focuses the light spell forward into this prism, which then spits it out, blossoming in a unspeakably explosive bloom of light that hits this this lens that filters it into the ceiling and just spills it across the room. Resplendent display of just glorious white light.
And as the light sort of funnels through these 3 different rings and is refracted up through the prism, you see as this and it's almost physical. Like it's not just brightness, it is a physical manifestation. And you see as like in a 60-foot radius, almost like spinning slowly, you just see as scintillating light just completely suffuses the space. It's almost too bright to look at. And so much so that like you begin to have to close your eyes as it washes over all of you, and a few things take place. Any healing done within the area of the bright light is treated as having rolled a maximum on any of the dice rolled. All healing, all spells, all cleric and paladin spells while within the aura of the light are treated as having been cast 1 level higher. Fiends and undead have disadvantage on their saving throws against your channel divinity and domain spells. And any fiend or undead hostile creatures have disadvantage on your channel divinity options and your spells. And any fiend or undead that is within the area created by the bright light takes 2d10 radiant damage at the start of their turn.
Ooh.
Goddamn.
Is Zarella a fiend? No.
No, I think so.
No.
He is not.
He's
Okay,
bad.
but you said hostile creature, so...
Yeah.
And so as this light sort of immediately like blooms outwards, you feel it wash over you, and you feel that same level of that same sort of force that you have felt so far suddenly magnified, and it almost sounds like music around you. Like there's this sort of harmonious like tone that is just ever present and almost like vibrates against your skin, and calms your breathing. And as her infinite embrace, the artifact of Famir is enacted. Ceallach, you are leading this ritual. What are you doing?
Okay. 1 second.
We're here.
Guys, now would be a really great time to call our undead lich so that we can...
Oh, true. Good
Just
point.
come battle.
Yeah.
Come battle here.
Be like, hey, we're
battle.
having a tea party. It's been kind of crazy.
Corbin, what you
Corbin.
do?
You up?
Corbin,
Oh,
you
wait,
up?
Quick question: how far is Flynn from us right now? Is he? Like,
Yeah,
where
what's the
where are you?
situation?
Yeah, so
Yeah, but
so the
the
device is
position-
in the center of the room.
Yeah.
And then Flynn is like basically kind of like back in between, so it's like device in the center, and then would Flynn would he have to be in the middle of it, or he would be just outside?
I think
right?
with anything within
Yeah,
is
so it's
covered.
Basically they positioned you probably like 10 feet away from the 3 of them, and kind of, north of the center of the room, basically. Because the device is in the center, and then you're just north of that.
Okay.
About 10 feet away from Ceallach and the other 2 clerics.
that are on the mission.
And they're-
Are you
yeah.
still holding it?
Yeah, they're all holding it, and so for Ceallach, it's coming from his hand. Well, actually, do you have to hold it? No, you just once
It
it's put
stays
up.
suspended.
Oh, okay.
So once
Yeah.
it's put up, Ceallach is casting through his hand, and the other 2 are casting. You see, kind of emanating from the holy symbols, the tri-ring symbols that they have on their chest. They're just sort of standing there, but their eyes are like their brows are furrowed. It requires 3 clerics, all basically like using their turns to maintain this thing. You see that they are intensely focused, as if concentrating on a spell for basically. And so, but Ceallach, it is, you are leading the ritual, so do.
So. Whew. Okay. So you see that we all in synchronized fashion begin to turn the wheel, so to speak, run almost a macro version of what you've seen me do with my symbol, where I've been rubbing my thumb around the circles in sequence. There is this sliding our hands across the front edge of this golden ring, and as we're performing this task in repetition, it begins to take on a rhythm, and you can feel that hum that soft. It's almost like if you listen really, really closely, it's got the faintest hint of a woman's voice, of a woman humming softly, an indiscernible melody. That hum starts to synchronize with the rhythm of the spinning of these rings, and the rings begin to glow even brighter. And I will say the incantation of the spell, Coningerime, and I will cast Planner Ally on Zarel.
Okay. What'd that do?
What'd that do?
Which
What
I think
that
is
do?
valid.
You beseech an otherworldly entity for aid. The being must be known to you, a god, a primordial, a demon prince, or some other being of cosmic power. That entity sends a celestial, an elemental, or a fiend loyal to it to aid you, making the creature appear in an unoccupied space within range. If you know a specific creature's name, you can speak that name when you cast this spell to request that creature.
Oh.
Though you might get a different creature anyway, DM's choice. But when the creature appears, it is under no compulsion to behave in any particular way. You can ask the creature to perform a service in exchange for payment, but it isn't obliged to do so. The requested task could range from simple, fly us across the chasm or help us fight a battle, to complex, spy on our enemies or protect us during our foray into the dungeon. You must be able to communicate with the creature to bargain for its services. Payment can take a variety of forms.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Zarel, I compel you, meet us in Famir's sanctum within the consular chamber. We have things to discuss.
oh shit.
Wow.
As you say these words, the words themselves, they kind of like you guys hear as Kelleg's voice kind of takes on a power of its own, as if amplified by and like someone takes the volume and turns it up, basically, as his voice like resonates and sort of syncopates and harmonizes with that soft melody and that tone. But as you cry out the name of the specific creature, and this spell amplified through Famir's thing. Famir's
The art of
Famir's,
embrace.
her infinite embrace.
Yeah,
It's
baby.
Hell yeah.
You
amplified.
call across the divide,
Yup.
and
To the
for
abyss,
a
I
moment,
believe.
for a moment, nothing appears to happen.
Yeah.
And then you see the sort of like a corner of the chamber almost begin to dim as the light from that area sort of just begins to fade ever so slightly and begins to reach outwards as if sort of like clawing, and then it gets kind of to the edge of the light and shies away. And you see as this singular shadow grows and swells. And then you see something begin to take shape within the darkness. And for a moment, it's hard to pin down exactly what it is. You just see shifting and it's just the darkness moving. And then suddenly it resolves itself into a silhouette, about 12 feet tall,
12?
that slowly begins to walk forward. At first amorphous and completely covered in shadow, but slowly, as it steps closer and closer to the light, you see as those shadows fall away and entering into the consular chamber. First, you see the eyes. You see alabaster skin, like almost porcelain white, and two almost overly large, like they're just almost slightly too large in the face, these beautiful lavender, like slices of the twilight sky as the sun fades across the horizon and the evening turns to that purple blue. You see No irises, no pupils, just that slice of lavender sky. And as the shadows fall away from the face, you see black, like almost like ink, the veins along the face as they delicately curve down the neck, across a broad chest, down the arms. And you see a body wrapped in tight black silks with veins of silver running through. And as the shadows fade, you see 3 sets of black wings.
3.
One above that almost extend like probably 30 feet out in either direction.
Goodness.
And then a second set and a third set that come out across the bottom. You see
It's just unnecessary.
a long, like an elongated face, like beautiful features that are just, again, like slightly exaggerated in almost every way. The mouth a slight bit too large, the eyes a slight bit too large, the ears long, curving, and pointed, almost so that they come down to a little bit of a point at the end. And you see sharp teeth, like fangs, that come down from the canines. And as this figure finally emerges fully from the shadows, you see before you a 12-foot tall humanoid male with sort of covered in rippling muscle and black ink. There is replaced all of the apparent veins in his body, and hands that end in onyx sharpened fingernails.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
As the wings sort of and then fold gently and fall sort of behind him. The Twilight Warden.
As this figure appears and presents themselves, I reach up and kind of grasp those 2 necklaces and kind of just hold them tight as I kind of sink back into my chair. Watch this as I like grab those 2 necklaces and kind of sink back into my chair and just watch this form appear.
And the eyes, those lavender eyes, you feel the focus kind of come over all of you and land on you.
Mm-hmm.
Flynn. Well, I never thought I'd be allowed in a place like this ever again. Interesting place of reunion you've chosen.
I'm like skipping back in between, just making sure Ceallach's still there, like he doesn't disappear.
And you all hear this, both coming from his mouth, also in your heads.
Don't go there.
Feels invasive.
Right? It's my head.
You've called me. And to what do I owe the pleasure? And he like smiles. He sees these sharp canine, almost vampiric like teeth come down.
I understand that you are not a demon, not a devil, and in fact once possessed dignity. So, I've come to you to propose a new arrangement. I think both you and Flynn can agree the current one is not serving you.
Have you been unhappy, Flynn?
Yeah.
Well, that pains me greatly to hear. Dignity.
Aye. And as a matter of fact, I quite relate to the reasons that you left. You like it here. On our plane. It's a good place. With good people. Makes sense to me. So certainly, there must be something that you and we can mutually accomplish. A new agreement, replacing the old one, freeing Flynn of his bonds, and replacing it with... I hope to find something that you want that we can stomach.
No, I didn't like that. Did not like.
Mortals. My dignity. I still very much maintain, despite your hag's attempt to rob me of it. Make no mistake, I maintain it.
Good, then we should have no issue.
And to be clear, you know nothing of why I left, or the pain that comes from the betrayal of those who purported to love you.
I look over to my mother. I think you're a little bit off on that. But agree to disagree.
It's quite the assumption. I mean, you don't know anyone here. Well, you might know Flynn kind of more intimately, but...
Indeed. Oh, I know. A little something of all of you. I'm so very sorry your mommy dearest here didn't love you. Mine threw me into the abyss and didn't even have the decency to do it herself. Sent her favorite little pet to do it instead. Now that we've gotten that cleared, our arrangement. What is it that you think you could possibly provide me that I would want?
Well, you like Flynn, don't you?
He's useful.
Aye. As are the rest of us. In fact, I'd wager we're among the most capable people in all of Elbor. There must be something we can do for you. Something worth Flynn's freedom. And I look not quite apologetically to my mother. I am privy to the knowledge that things are not so good on the High Mountain. That there seems to be something awry in the weave. Something being done to it by ne'er-do-wells in red cloaks and otherwise. Something's changing. Something is amiss in the world. I assume that when that change takes place, you're going to want to have solid ground under your feet. I propose that we can make that possible. Because we speak to gods.
You're quite right. Do they know? And he turns and looks at the other two priests in the room. Do you know that your precious goddess was once no better than you? Does it strike you at all? Her self-righteous sanctimony. So overblown. So tragically misinformed. You're quite right. There is something awry. This war continues to drain your beloved goddess and her brethren. What's interesting is that to my knowledge, in all the various times this has happened, and it has happened before, never before have 10 gods existed all at once. Perhaps there is one who knows different, but she is hidden even from me. But the new gods, for reasons unknown, did not destroy Famir and the rest when they cast them out. As to why, Well, even I don't know that. But we are all of us on borrowed time for their mercy. But it won't be long now. You're quite right. A moment of transition is coming. There is only room for so much divinity within Elbor. The barrier that keeps him at bay weakens. You've seen it. Soon the last of the old god's power will fade. And in that moment, the binds upon Vasronath will weaken. And the new gods will face him. Same as the old gods once long ago. And the old gods before them. I would like to put an end to that. I told Flynn. Do you remember? I only wish for a place for all of us to call home. All of us little people don't want to get caught up in the cosmic struggles. That is, and has always been, my aim. So, perhaps we are aligned, after all.
We wish to end the cycle.
Just let us find our own way to do it.
That requires trust. Something I have in very short supply.
How can I prove my trust?
A reasonable question, Flynn. But you've done a poor job of it so far.
I'm not an errand boy,
Is that so?
but I'm willing to help you.
What do you propose, Flynn?
We stop the cycle. And if not, I'll serve you.
No.
It may be the only way.
We just have to stop it.
We can do this. What do you say?
But no funny business. No, I know you didn't have an out on your last contract, but no funny business here. If we succeed, you don't get any of us. None. Nada. Zilch. Nothing.
He lifts his finger, and the ink on your arm burns. Let's remember who has the leverage here, child.
It's
And
okay.
he lifts his finger down, and it goes away.
You
I'll
need
set
us just as much as we need you.
I find that unlikely.
Oh, okay. Well, then why don't you go take care of the outcast? If you're all powerful, go ahead. I'd like to see you get out of where you live without us calling you. Oh, can you?
Olma, I don't think arguing with him is going to help. If we don't succeed, does it need to be him?
No, Seeker.
What are you saying, Seeker?
What are you saying, Seeker?
Sika.
Does it have to be him?
Well, I suppose 5 servants are better than 1. If that's what you're offering.
No.
It doesn't have to be any of us. We've let this conversation.
I'm not saying all of us. I'm suggesting me instead of you, Flynn.
No, just me. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving this off to you. This is my burden.
You've carried it a long time.
Doesn't mean you have to. Only me.
Flynn, with all due respect, it's all or nothing on this. What difference does it make? All of us, We're going to stop the cycle.
And if we don't, we're dead anyway. So, good luck trying to have a servant when everybody's dead.
I've been told there's worse things than death.
That is true.
Indeed.
Gross. Then I don't want to sign up for that.
I know
I'm amenable to the changing of our arrangement, but understand, I do need assurances. Can't have you wandering off.
I feel like you can find me pretty easily.
Indeed. But that involves effort.
Yeah, it's really hard for him to get out of there, remember?
What do you propose?
Not so difficult as you might think, child.
Perhaps.
Oma, make an intelligence saving throw for me.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah.
+5.
Yeah.
Does the area give a bonus?
Considers a relevant ally.
I don't
Twilight
think so.
Sanctuary give a
So-
bonus?
No, it doesn't.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah?
Really good.
Real good?
I mean, I don't have a crazy intelligence there, but
What's total?
hold please. +5?
Yeah.
+5.
27.
Oh,
26.
okay.
No.
All
Correct.
right, you take 14 points of psychic damage.
Dang.
As the sort of that voice kind of resonates within your mind and starts to like and that kind of like static almost and kind of pierces your brain, similar, not dissimilar from some of your own magic, but yeah, you take 14 points of psychic damage. You do succeed, but
Do I
Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
Do I sense that
Yeah.
she's been charmed or like, does she?
Hey, over here.
Let's keep things civil. Perhaps
It's
we
just
can
a
reach a compromise.
Okay, Alma.
a compromise.
Yes. Don't we all love a bargain? Right now, we've got Flynn. And the deal we seem to be proposing is people's servitude or entire lives. I don't love that, so let me propose an alternative. If we don't succeed in this endeavor, then you can call upon, and we would need everyone's agreement on this. I'm not trying to speak for the entire group, I'm just suggesting. You would be able to call upon a boon or a favor from each of us thereafter. So you're getting the price of 5 powerful people for 1 contract. You don't have us in servitude, we don't owe you our entire lives, but just about anything you could ask that is within our power.
One time.
I'm a paladin of vengeance. I have a feeling you can relate to that. Might make good use of me. And this is, of course, presuming we fail. Then you get to cash in on all 5.
Desley.
And should you succeed?
Well,
Then the
Flynn will have
then
done
the
what
deed
you
is
wanted.
done.
And you get to stay stable in your, how did you phrase it? The home that you've created for all the people you'd like to keep out of the cosmological struggles of the world that seem to be, unfair. I don't disagree with you there.
A boon or a favor from each of you?
Aye.
It's up to you, Olma. I'm not going to speak for you. I'm just trying to figure out. I don't like the idea of Tarka or Flynn serving eternal servitude. That
I
seems
know.
awful.
But I'm gonna be around so much longer than you guys.
That's fair.
How about like
Maybe we
only in the amount of lifetime that everybody else lives?
okay, you have to cash in on Olma's is only as long as we're all alive. Can we
Not
put
me
that in there?
alive.
No, not Olma's life, but the rest of I'm going to live for a little while as well, so don't worry. It's going to be several. Well, assuming I don't get stabbed.
100 years.
100 years.
That's fair.
I have a century.
Sounds fair.
And you? 3 months to complete your task.
That's fair. That's, yeah.
Easy.
Assuming the way
months.
things are going, especially.
3 months.
That's
Till
a long
the
time.
outcast.
Yes.
Okay.
And should you deny the favor I ask of you? 1 year. In service to me.
Understood.
But I have a question. When we're in service to you, don't we have to follow all your orders then?
I think he means in Shadowhold.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to out here in a place where demons don't dwell regularly.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want you guys to do this.
Flynn,
This is only presuming we fail, Flynn. And if we fail, well,
We won't fail.
Exactly, we won't fail.
Flynn, you said you made this whole thing because you thought we were gonna die. And now we're all making this thing because we don't want you to die. It only seems fair.
Get to repay the favor.
aye. And taking this all on by yourself. It's what got you here in the first place.
This has always been about all of us, Flynn. If you really took the oath to save our lives, then it's always been about all of us.
What if they ask you to kill someone?
Then they ask us to kill someone.
Flynn, do you know how many people I've
Wouldn't be
killed?
the first time.
Should I have just killed Iregloom then?
No, I think that was the
No.
right choice.
No.
This city stands. We won't fail.
Flynn,
And the war will subside
and
because we spared Iregloom.
and we're still planning on succeeding.
This is a big if. And for the time being, you would be fine.
That's what we were going to do anyway.
Also, we don't fail. So like
Rarely.
Yeah.
mostly succeed.
I'll turn to. Explain me in detail this contract that they're about to sign.
The agents of repair, as you are known collectively, Flynn Falloweve, Idian Silverstar, Cecily Gwynn, Alma Marsk, and Kelixast Grey agree that within 3 months' time, Vasronath, the outcast, will be destroyed by their hand. Failing that, they owe me one favor or boon of my choosing to call at any time from this day and a century forward. And if they should fail or refuse, a year of servitude in Shadehold under my command.
Okay. If we succeed, we don't have to do that?
Then the contract is fulfilled.
And I release you of your obligations.
Without any favors.
Correct?
I don't like the word by your hand. I would like it stricken. Because I don't use my hands to fight. So if I kill him, I'm not going to be using my hands. And you're a slippery one.
As a result of your direct actions.
Fair enough.
That is better.
We won't do it by accident.
And if we fail, you said a century to what?
I have a century to call upon my favor.
Right. So
To
since
collect.
Alma's gonna live for 1,000 years,
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't want him to like come here like 800 years later and be like, oh, by the way, remember 800 years ago when you told me you would do something for me? Well, I know the world is a totally different world now, but I want you to do this. Like,
the
that's not-
statute of limitation on the contract, effectively.
And in exchange, I release you from your current obligations to me. But I reclaim the gifts I've given.
You don't need them, Flynn.
I know. If we fail, their servitude is halved and mine is doubled.
That's a poor bargain for me, Flynn.
Tripled.
Flynn.
Quadrupled.
We don't need that.
Forever.
Flynn.
Flynn.
No. Understand, Flynn. You're quite useful. But there are other skills here that I could be it could be better put to use. The contract is as I've stated it to be.
It's all right, Flynn. We've got you.
It's a good deal. It's better than what we have.
After all, should you succeed, well, I think we all make out swimmingly, don't we?
Certainly I'll go home happy.
I'm not asking any of you to do this.
We know,
We want to.
We're offering.
because we're your friends.
Very heartwarming.
Deal.
And he reaches out his hand and like just kind of pulls from the ether, and you see as the shadows begin to coalesce. And a piece of parchment and the shadows sort of fall across it as letter by letter this new agreement is inked. And he waves his hand and he pushes it over towards you,
Oh boy.
Flynn. And you see as Flynn Fellowweave and a line appears next to it.
I don't see a pen anywhere or anything to write with.
Well, as it floats over,
I'll
a
reach
black
my hand
a
up.
black feather like kind of materializes next to it of the shadow, a quill, and just like drips the same sort of black ink that is on your arm.
You will not fail.
No chance.
No. We can't.
I sign my name.
Moves it over to you.
I'll sign.
Destiny.
I sign, but the entire time I'm signing my name, I don't break eye contact with Sorrel. And I pass it to Olma.
Grab it. I sign it. I stick my tongue out at Zoro, and I hand it over to Ceallach.
I cast a long look at my mother. When I sign.
The parchment scrolls up and vanishes into the shadows behind him. Well, I should say this was very productive. I look forward to hearing and seeing all of you again.
The next time will be the last.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. And he turns. And he walks into the corner where those shadows are still there. Right. I almost forgot. And he lifts his hand. And he makes a fist. And Flynn, you feel a tearing sensation inside of your very being as the ink on your arm blackens and begins to move and shake, and it climbs up your arm and across your chest and then up your neck, and then suddenly is joined by black shadow that pours out of your mouth as it's pulled away, and you collapse to the ground, unconscious, as he takes back what was given. Flynn, you lose 2 levels.
Oh, man.
Your current hit point maximum is reduced by the same amount that you required.
Fuck.
Or that you gained as a result of spending 2 levels in Warlock.
Yeah.
And you are, for the time being, effectively a 12th level character. As the magic is ripped away from you.
Sorry, man.
And the gifts given are taken back per the agreement.
Oh, jeez.
and the shadows go and they rejoin into his hand as they sort of crawl up his arm and rejoin into Zarel's form.
We'll get you there, buddy.
Yeah,
When he drops,
Uh-huh.
since I still have my Twilight Sanctuary up, I can grant 1d6 plus 2 temporary hit points to a creature in the aura.
Yeah, the turn.
So, like, as I'm seeing him take this pain, like, I'm gonna...
Is it max dealing too because it's a cleric, or?
It would be, but temporary HP does not revive him from consciousness.
Just shield.
Because he is, well, yeah.
Well, I don't know that I would...
It does, but that's
I would
fine. You still do it.
I would still
do
relinquish it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In his direction.
You see as the twilight magic kind of falls over Flynn. You drop to 0 hit points. And you also suffer
Oh no.
2 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Agents of exhaustion.
Let's go.
As the magic that he has given you is literally ripped away from you and rejoins in Zarel into his form, and he turns over his shoulder. It's been a real pleasure. I'll see you soon. And he into the shadows.
I don't like him. Are you still... You're not holding it.
I'm not holding it, but I am
You're
consistently, I'm administering to it, adhering to it to sustain this cocoon.
I want to go to Flynn and attempt to do my best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll-
I think
I'll,
we
like,
would
nod.
all
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
to Flynn.
yeah,
If I'm not holding it, I would absolutely
Yeah,
go to
you
him.
guys all kind of
Same, yeah.
converge as
Yeah.
Flynn falls unconscious. Sorry, buddy, but
That's okay.
I'll
That's
put
okay.
I'll put his head on my lap and I'll
Okay.
just like pet it.
Do a third level, just grabbing my just put my hands on your chest and Loris. Now heal him, and just a third level healing word.
okay.
Death. Not. He needs help.
When your healing word does come over him, Flynn, you regain would be maximum. So at a
3d4
third level,
plus, so 12.
12 plus your wisdom mod.
15.
So you regain 15 hit points and come back to consciousness. And you look down at your arm, and the ink that has been there for the last several days is gone.
Fuck.
How do you feel?
Oh, like shit.
You need a little more healing, a little more.
No.
No.
No, you,
Just still patting your head.
We should all get some rest.
Oh yes, we should.
You did really well, Flynn.
I'll begin the process of
Shutting down.
day crescendoing
Yeah.
this system, this apparatus. Yeah.
Right. Together with Zeist and with Kaom Malcolm together takes a minute or so for the device to fully kind of return to stasis. And Flynn, as you regain your consciousness, as the device winds down and you all gather in the center of the constellar chamber to figure out how to move forward. We're going to go ahead and end it right there. 6:40. It's time. It's time to go.
Yeah.
It's been a long one. Oh boy, guys! Wow. Well, that's gonna be an interesting one shot. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Post, whatever. I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea what's gonna happen.
It's gonna be fine. We're gonna fix the
Why
world.
does it
We're
What are you
gonna
even
do?
talking about?
Nope.
What are you even talking about?
What do you mean?
Buddy's ripped.
Wow.
Do the
I
thing.
was like,
Do the thing.
You gotta
All
do the
right.
thing.
Purple eyes.
You gotta, it's your job. You gotta.
I gotta finish.
Okay,
sorry.
Thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds. Agents of Exhaustion. Hey, nerds. Rodney here. Hey, come on in here for a second. I know you're enjoying Venture Forth, and we appreciate it. Please make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on all the platforms you use. Also, make sure to tell your friends so the word can get out there. To go the extra mile, hit that Patreon. Get yourself some amazing and exclusive bonus content, which is also going to help the show grow. All right, later, nerds.